If you've managed to secure a PS5 during its first year on the market, there are plenty of top-notch games you can enjoy with your kids. In today's video, I'll give you 10 of my favorite PS5 titles that would make excellent gifts this holiday season. And don't worry, I'll do a quick recap of all 10 games at the end and also include links to all of them in the description below today's video. We'll start off the list with what is undoubtedly my favorite PS5 game to play with my son, Sackboy A Big Adventure. It's actually one of the best platformers I have played in years, not even kidding here. Seriously guys, we're talking Nintendo and Mario level quality here. If you remember the old Little Big Planet games, that formula goes almost completely out the window with A Big Adventure. The latter is a 3D platformer developed by Sumo Digital and not Media Molecule, the original creators of the series. The game is divided up into a series of hub worlds, and while it's described as a 3D platformer, there are a number of different ways Sumo switches up the perspective throughout the game, with tweaks to level design along the way. It does operate from a fixed camera perspective, which kinda gives it the feel of something like Super Mario 3D World. Each level has a ton of collectibles to find and challenges to complete. There are hundreds of different costume pieces for your Sackboy, some of which are found hidden throughout the levels, and others you can purchase with gold you collect in-game. Sackboy manages to strike that perfect balance of presenting just enough of a challenge to be difficult, but not too frustrating for inexperienced gamers to lose interest. Although you can play Sackboy solo, the game shines brightest when you play alongside a friend or even a group of friends. A total of 4 players can team up, and while online play is supported, my son and I had an absolute blast playing it as couch co-op. Seriously, just so many laughs. I cannot recommend this game enough. Up next, we have Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, which is a brand new entry in the popular series from Insomniac. This one is an absolute graphical stunner on the PS5 hardware and has received near unanimous praise from fans and media alike. If you've played a Ratchet game before, you'll know what to expect here. If not, imagine a high-energy third-person shooting game with off-the-wall weapons packaged together in an experience that looks like a Pixar movie, plus a fun story to tie it all together. Where Rift Apart iterates on the established formula is by introducing rifts throughout the game, which open portals to other worlds. Players can use these rifts to jump to other locations in the game almost instantly. This sets the stage for unique gameplay moments unlike what you've experienced in the series before. It's so incredibly clear playing through this game just how much Insomniac has mastered their craft over the years. The levels are just absolutely brilliant, the gameplay fun and engaging, and did I mention just how gorgeous it all is? Our next title is a fresh take on a platforming classic. It's Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. Now, if you're an old school gamer like me, you may be thinking I'm incredibly cruel to recommend a Crash game for kids when you consider just how tough the original games were. And don't get me wrong, they were pretty tough. But you'll be happy to know Crash 4 should please both new and retro gamers by offering 2 difficulty options. Modern, which is more accessible for new players, and Retro, which will appeal more to the hardcore fans of the series. Regardless of which difficulty you play on, the game feels like classic Crash with a fresh coat of paint and some new enhancements. Reviewers praise the game for its quick and challenging platforming, beautiful environments, and strong replayability thanks to bonus flashback levels, local co-op, competitive multiplayer, and plenty of unlockables. For something the whole family can enjoy, check out Overcooked All You Can Eat, which is a compilation of both the original Overcooked and Overcooked 2. If you've never played an Overcooked game before, it doesn't take long for things to get just outright ridiculous. The setup is pretty straightforward: prepare food for customers in a given amount of time. But then you know the game's gonna throw plenty of obstacles along the way that's gonna make this a much easier task said than a task done. The levels shift, change, and add new elements as you try to progress, which only result in more insane moments. This is one of those titles where you'll probably want to check your competitive ego at the door and just enjoy the journey. After all, I can't promise this one won't result in some shouting and yelling as you try and coordinate with your family members to complete the orders accurately and on time. Now, our next title is one that's completely free. That's right, as long as you own a PS5, you can get this title totally free. In fact, it's the very first game that I recommend you boot up when you get your PS5. It's Astros Playroom, which is a game that completely blew me away. My son, who's a huge fan of Mario games, has also enjoyed Astros Playroom immensely. It was really his first introduction to PlayStation. To be honest, I can't think of a better way for a kid to learn about PlayStation for the first time. Like I mentioned, I love this game so much, it's definitely the first one you should play when you boot up the system for the first time. It's a 3D platforming adventure that will take you through the history of PlayStation. It also serves as an incredible showcase for the new DualSense controller. And while Astro is an absolutely phenomenal showcase for the controller, the fact that it ends up being so much more than that is what I truly found surprising. You'll move about a series of different worlds that represent generations of PlayStation consoles. Astro will take on various enemies and platform challenges along the way. You'll have a simple punch attack, spin attack, and a laser when Astro hovers to help you take care of the enemies. There are collectible puzzle pieces and artifacts to find in each world. The puzzle pieces you find are added to a giant puzzle in the game's hub area, whereas the artifacts are pieces of PlayStation's history that also make their way into that hub. With Astros Playroom, it's all about the tiny little details of nostalgia that really help to put it over the top. There's so many little nods and secrets that I just don't want to even try and spoil them all here. It's far better if you experience these for yourself. The game will only take you about 4 to 6 hours to complete, and really that's honestly the only problem I had with it. After it was over, I just wanted more. Both my son and I were sad to see it end, but what a ride it was. Hopefully this is only the beginning for Astro on PS5, because I would honestly love to see a Asobi team get a shot at making a full-length 3D platformer featuring Astro. Now, while Astro is a celebration of all things PlayStation, one of the first PC titles I ever played as a kid was Sim Theme Park. Unfortunately, that series isn't around anymore today, but Planet Coaster may be the next best thing. Like Sim Theme Park and Roller Coaster Tycoon before it, Planet Coaster is a strategy game where players set up and manage theme parks. There are 4 primary modes in the game: Career, Sandbox, Challenge, and a Scenario Editor. Players become a theme park manager in the career mode and are tasked with completing various scenarios to earn a bronze, silver, or gold star, which factor into your overall career level. Then there's Sandbox mode, which allows you to create your own theme park by shaping the land, building up your own roller coasters, and setting up concession stands. With this one, you'll also have unlimited funds. And where Sandbox mode is all about the fun, Challenge mode is harder and you'll only start with a small amount of money. This one places much more of an emphasis on the funds that you have coming in to help sustain your park. The Scenario Editor allows players to create their own scenarios, which can then be played in the career mode or uploaded online to challenge other players. You know, one of the wonderful things about video games is just how many different types of experiences you can enjoy, and our next game is completely different from something like Planet Coaster. It's Chicory, A Colorful Tale, which is an absolutely gorgeous and charming title you can enjoy on the PS5. Chicory is essentially a giant coloring book that tells a unique story from a top-down perspective. Chicory is the lone wielder of a magic brush that adds vibrancy and color to what is otherwise a simple world of black and white. When Chicory unexpectedly abandons her post as the wielder, our main character, who's a janitor at the wielder's tower, takes it upon herself to pick up the brush and restore color to the world. The painting mechanic throughout the game is deeper than you'd expect, and you'll gain access to multiple tools along your adventure. Many reviewers praised Chicory for its accessibility to players of any skill level. You can tweak not only the difficulty of combat, but also that of the puzzles. In addition to the gameplay, it tells a very touching, sympathetic story which I won't spoil here. When it comes to playing with family or friends, this is one that's beautiful to watch and also supports co-op play where a friend can paint alongside you. If you have a kid who's more of the laid-back, artistic type, then you certainly can't go wrong with a title like Chicory. Up next, we have Temtem, a title that's unabashedly inspired by Pokemon, but just so happens to be a solid game in its own right. Temtem is a massively multiplayer creature collection adventure. Players will catch Temtem and battle other tamers. Sound familiar yet? You can also customize your house, join a friend's adventure, or explore the 6 islands of the Airborne Archipelago. There's a story campaign where you'll travel across those 6 islands while doing battle against an evil clan. Look, the similarities to Pokemon are certainly there, but where Nintendo series has resisted turning into an MMO, Temtem fully embraces it. In Temtem, players from around the world can join you in real time, living the adventure alongside you and battling to become a top tamer. There's also a co-op adventure mode, multiple customization options, and competitive play. One of the best aspects of Temtem is how new content is constantly being added to the game in the form of new events, new missions, new cosmetics, and even new Temtem. For the older kids out there, they may be ready to try a teen-rated title like Kana Bridge of Spirits. Kana is a 2021 action-adventure title from Ember Lab, and it's another on our list with absolutely gorgeous graphics and art design. Kana is a young spirit guide who's been tasked with helping spirits find eternal rest. You'll control the heroine from a third-person perspective and use her staff to battle enemies using light, heavy, and charged attacks. Kana will also collect spirit companions, known as Rot, along the way. The Rot will aid Kana in a number of different ways throughout the adventure. This one lands that teen rating as it does tend to focus more on mature themes like death, grief, and forgiveness. If you've been curious about the Battle Royale craze but prefer something a little more lighthearted than, say, Fortnite, you and the family should check out Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. My son and I played a ton of this one when it first released, and it's good to see Fall Guys is still going strong today. Up to 60 players will drop in each game to try and make their way through a series of zany challenges while controlling bizarre jellybean-shaped characters. Only so many will make it through each round until one is crowned the victor at the very end. Some of the levels are set up like an obstacle course with clear inspiration from classic platformers like Mario Galaxy and even TV shows like Wipeout. There are also team-based levels where players are randomly assigned a team and then must work together with other jellybeans to best the other team. The losing team's players are all eliminated. Developer Mediatonic has worked hard to keep the game fresh, and they've added new themed seasons, which often come with new levels, game modes, and cosmetics. Look, I also have a video up for the best Switch games for kids, which you can check out on the left side of your screen right now. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.